welcome to a very different ramble to what we used to, obviously coming from my kitchen. You know, like most people, I'm working from home. We've had to send all our staff at MyClubPro to work from home, so it's really not the norm, and I'm sure like you guys, it's really tough. My kids are driving me insane, but we're getting through it, one drink at a time. Look, I thought we'd do this because we obviously want to carry on bringing you some content where we can. We'll speak to Charlotte in a bit via video chat. And there's really only one thing we can talk about at the moment, and that is the cancellation of all football, you know, step 3 and below. So, you know, stick around and we'll see what we can find out about it. And apparently this is a football now. Don't think so. Let's see if we can get Charlotte on the line and yeah, we'll get her take on this.
Hello!
Hello, how you getting on?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, thank you. Doing okay, staying at home, following all the government guidelines, keeping it safe as possible. But it's been a strange couple of weeks for us all.
Hasn't it just? And we're just talking about obviously all the seasons being cancelled from step 3 and below. What's your take on that one?
So initially my reaction was that it was the right decision. I think it's so complicated, and no one in their wildest dreams could have ever seen having to deal with all the sort of legal implications, the financial implications. I think what's helpful overall for the grassroots football community is having a little bit of certainty in these uncertain times, and to know that a line has been drawn so that they can at least prepare for next season. I think is for the greater good. Okay. I think that's quite a good decision. And to null and void results, I know was a very controversial one.
Do you think it was perhaps they were a bit quick to jump to this as a blanket, you know, method of just cancelling everything, rather than perhaps, I don't know, leaving it to some of the, maybe the county FAs and the lower levels to decide what to do at each league level?
Again, it's really, really interesting, because for me, for the elite and the professional side of the game, obviously people get paid and they have a vast amount of experience, and they get paid a lot of money to make tough decisions. What I think is harder for the grassroots game, as we know, and lots of people who watch the show know, is that it's run by volunteers, and it's a lot of pressure to ask volunteers to make a decision and of that scale. So I actually think it's quite admirable that the FA have sort of taken that pressure off of volunteers. The one about it being a bit hasty, I can sympathise with, but on the flip side, for a lot of these teams, a lack of a decision could be the difference between them folding or not. Yep. So I think the FA were in a sort of lose-lose situation there.
Yeah, they're never going to be highly applauded for this one, are they?
No, and I don't think there is a right solution for all. I think, you know, there's a reason why the Premier League has been so quiet, because there is no solution in the short term. I don't think we'll be playing football for a number of months now. So I guess the grassroots football community has the luxury, because it is a little less serious.
Yeah.
The financial ramifications are worse if a decision doesn't get made now than any sort of broadcasting rights or any of those complexities at the higher level. But it's just such a horrific situation, and having to make decisions like this about football and talk about football when there are so many bigger things that we should be worrying about. It's contradictory, but
good stuff. Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I think really just to perhaps in these really negative, and sometimes it can feel quite overwhelming, I think there is an opportunity with people having more time at home to use it as a positive and constructive time. And obviously I saw MyClubPro had written the piece about the coronavirus and how to, you know, plan for the future. And I think there was some really good advice and tips in there. And that's the only thing I would say to any volunteers looking at this time and not knowing what to do with it. Try and use it as a constructive time to bring your club together, to upskill yourself. There's some brilliant content online right now that's really accessible, really useful. And although it's really difficult, obviously we will come out of this. I think we will all really appreciate football, and it will come out. It's a bit of a cliche, the old football cliche, but we will come back stronger as a result. So I think just to people to keep their chins up and try and be as productive as possible.
I think you're right. It's just making the best of a bad situation, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly that.
Right, Charlotte, thanks for your time. We'll speak to you again soon.
See you soon. Take care.
There's some really interesting points there from Charlotte. I think, interesting that she actually agrees with the FA making the decision to do this right now, and makes a good point about the financial implications, and probably clubs now just they need a decision. They need to be able to get on with planning for next season. I think from a playing perspective, from a someone that how much hard work goes into the game. The biggest disappointment for me is you've got people at the top, at the top of the division, who are challenging for promotion, have worked hard all year, and for those people to be disappointed, and those that were facing relegation now to be elated, that's the wrong way around for football, isn't it? We all know that's the case, but imagine if you were Jersey Bulls or Vauxhall Motors, who both mathematically had already secured promotion to Step 5. Imagine how they're feeling right now. The whole season is just going to feel like an absolute waste of time. And like we said, it's not going to be a popular decision. But what can you do? Even like at my level of the game, and I'm the grand old age of 38 now, and I actually retired a year ago, and came back out this season because I just missed it so much. It didn't take much to convince me. And we've had a great year. We're still in sort of 2 cups. I think quarter final. Well, we were in. We were 6 points off top of the league with 3 games in hand. So we had a real good chance of going for a treble. Massively disappointing for me and the other lads. And I just think could there have been a way of finishing the season? We were literally all of 5 games away. The FA's letter to the league stated. There's not a one-size-fits-all solution to the current situation across football. This means that consideration must be given to the unique circumstances of each level of the game, and a solution is reached which best serves the needs at each level. And like we said, there isn't one-size-fits-all solution to this. So it's just disappointment for everyone. Look, with everything else going on at the moment, let us know how you're getting on. What's going on at your club? How are you still all working together to keep that team spirit up? I know it's really difficult, but we, as Charlotte mentioned, we wrote an article last week where we talked about some ideas to keep you all going and keep players fit and so on. But let us know. Of course, there are more important things going on in the world right now, and it's just listening to the radio, people talking about who cares about football right now? Well, do you know what? Football's one of the things that brings us all together, and it's going to keep us going through something like this. There you go, a very different ramble to what we used to. We've actually got a competition running over on our social media channels at the moment. We're giving away a full Nike kit, which is an NHS inspired one. So go and check that out, and obviously stay home and save lives. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a ramble. This is not a football, but I've enjoyed the challenges.